real nerd. People say I'm a fool, but they never got the news that I'm a fly one. Oh yeah, I'm a fly one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching Vilemike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a fly one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching Vilemike and his real wild child.
Howdy, folks. It's Vilemike here, and Elihu's with me already. How you doing, man?
I'm here physically, not mentally.
So, like normal.
Hey, what's normal about me?
You kind of broke me with that question because it'd be easier to say what's not the list of things that make you not normal.
Yeah, that's true.
Or maybe it's the list of things that you are normal about. That's the short list. You see, you broke me. You already broke me.
Hey, my mom, Abby, would give you a lot of stuff, okay? You know, Miss Normal?
And yes, I finally got a new computer, so I can do shit like this again without severely killing my laptop.
So this is going to be a rare stream where nothing wrong happens.
Dude, you had to say that. Now something's going to happen.
Yeah, like LDG popping up.
So, not Ryan Johnson said hey earlier. Gorilla's in the chat. How you doing, Jordan? Yvette says, good afternoon, Mike and everyone. Sorry I haven't been about real life sucks. I'm a little nervous about tomorrow as I see the cardiologist about my heart attack. Well, that's definitely something to be on top of, though. I remember back when my dad was having heart attacks. So, yeah, keep us appraised on that one, Yvette. She also says her mom comes home on Tuesday. Well, that's good at least.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining fairly hard right now, so I got to deal with that.
Yeah, he's not in the shower. Well, his car's in the shower.
If I roll the window down any further, I'll definitely be in the shower.
So who's the idiot that washed their car?
I don't know. And Yvette's getting some love. Hope everything goes good, Yvette. Hope everything goes well, Yvette.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can tell you what's going wrong and how you can fix it, so you stay a long time for us, because we like you here on the CNA stream.
Yeah, I got this weird arrhythmia, so every time I get an EKG or examine the doctor, they think something's wrong with me. Like, no, it's just normal irregular heartbeat. That's all it is. Every time I get blood, it's like, you got a high heartbeat. Here's my doctor's notes. Like, sheesh, come on.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I went to get my appendix taken out. And I told them, you have to call Balboa and get my medical records. She says, I'm facing 80 miles an hour tonight. Storm, Aisha. Wow, fuck. So bad weather all around. Yeah, and I hear there's a cold front going through most of the states, too.
Yeah, and we got this. Yeah, the rain we're getting is coming from Hawaii.
But back to my little story. When I had my appendix taken out, I had to tell them, get my records found at Balboa Hospital, because you need to give me a lot more tranquilizers, painkillers, whatever you're going to do than normal. And they're like, oh, you sound like a drug addict. I'm like, trust me, I'm not a drug addict. Get my medical records from Balboa.
I hate it when they do that. I'm like,
I have a severe
tolerance for pain. Yeah, I need more than 3 cc's.
Like, I told him, I have a severe tolerance to painkillers and tranquilizers. Please make sure you get my records from Balboa to prove this. And when they got the records, they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to have to give you 2.5 times the average dose for everything. And I still woke up during surgery.
I remember a few years ago, I had a really painful kidney stone. I had to go to the hospital, right? Too much pain to do anything. But I can't take aspirin because of shellac. So I'm going there complaining about pain. The lady's like, okay, I'll give you some morphine, right? I'm like, okay, my pain level is 11, not 10. She gave me a shot. I'm like, it's still a 10. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I got the wrong one. She gave me a fucking placebo. She gave me saline. I'm like, I still feel pain. I'm not a drug addict. Like, I know what the difference between pain and no pain. This was saline. Oh. Oh.
Well, I hate to tell you, not Ryan Johnson, but if it's in the 50s here in SoCal, that's still considered cold weather.
Yeah, it is. Anything below
Get some
60.
ketamine. No, they gave me. Oh fuck. I gotta recheck it just to make sure. Hold on.
I know that if I have any kind of major surgery or any kind of pain stuff, I'm gonna have to end up taking methadone wafers, crackers as pain medication.
Okay. What they basically gave me was propofol and benzodiazepine.
Oh, benzodiazepine, that makes you sleepy, man.
Well, they wanted to knock me out for the surgery.
Oh, okay.
But the funniest part about it was the guy that's, the anesthesiologist says, okay, don't worry. We got in contact with Balboa. We got your medical records. We're going to give you 2.5 times of this, this basic drug. And I'm like, what's that? I'm not too familiar with that one right now. And he goes, it's the same stuff that killed Michael Jackson. Right into my IV. So imagine being told 5 minutes before you pass out that you were just given the 2.5 times the average dose of the drug that killed Michael Jackson.
Like, can I get some caffeine, please?
Yeah. Ryan Johnson, if you're complaining that it's 30 degrees, I'll hop on a plane and come to fight you in a Speedo. Yeah, I know ketamine is a horse tranquilizer, but it's also used in certain detox programs and as a severe tranquilizer here, at least in the States. I don't know if it is down there.
Ketamine is a tranquilizer.
I've seen it in the 40s in the winter, and people will be walking around in shorts and sandals. Not Ryan Johnson. That's what I might be wearing my hoodie, but I'm literally wearing shorts and sandals. Despite the rain.
Why do idiots wear shorts and heavy jackets? What the hell is the point of that?
Well, I wanted to be comfortable this weekend. This is the first full weekend I've had off in a while where I don't have to worry about work at all. Dandelion's in the chat as well. Come on up if you want to. And yeah, I just wanted to be comfortable. That's why I'm dressed the way I'm dressed. And Mrs. Vile's the one that got me. I don't know if I showed this off before, but this is the hoodie she got me for my birthday.
Yeah.
She also got me the Star Trek one for Christmas, but I'm wearing that one's going to be for special occasions and maybe some videos.
Oh.
That's weather shorts. Weather is about 5 degrees.
I'd be like the guy in the lobster tank in Vegas. I was in the pool! Shrinkage!
And the link should still be up if anyone wants to join us other than Elihu. But for Elihu, I finally watched Flux. Yeah, I was watching it yesterday while I was up getting this computer up and running.
Finally.
Can I just say, now that I've seen Flux and it's about the end of the 13th Doctor's tenure, Flux was fluxing weird. All right. Thanks, Dandelion. I mean, did they really just like take everything out of the Doctor Who bag and throw it against the wall to see what sticks?
That's chin ball for you. I call him a chin ball for a reason.
I mean, I got to give it to Jodie Whittaker, though. She acted the hell out of that thing. I don't know why people are still so mad at her, but, you know, for what she was given, that was a friggin'... I'm shocked she did so well.
Yeah, one of her best episodes was The Flux. One of Capaldi's best episodes was Heaven Sent. I mean, hell, yeah, they each have a signature series. And Flux is one of her best ones. Granted, she got some bad writing and bad scripts in the past, but she was actually good in The Flux.
Yeah, I mean... But the writing, oh my God, it was like they were trying to connect stupid shit to stupid shit.
I'm just glad Russell T. Davis is back, man.
There was no need to make it as complex as they did, because if you watch the last episode, they literally just kill off the villains without doing anything, really.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the whole dog alien thing was stupid.
Find your human. Find your human.
I liked the character, but the idea behind it was just stupid.
Did you have to turn on closed captioning to understand what Dan was saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna watch all the specials in between. Now, I think there's like 3 more specials that have her in it, and the 3 Tenet specials before. But yeah, that's my plan for this week, is to try to watch that while finally working on a video. Elihu reminded me about Jet Nerdy, because he said he had something ready already. So we'll probably start doing Jet Nerdy again. I don't know when. I mean, when do you guys? God, my voice is cracking. Drinking coffee.
Yeah, good kofefi.
When do you guys want to start doing Jet Nerdy again? And it would be on the Jet Nerdy channel. So I'm going to post a link to that just in case you guys haven't subscribed to it. So, because I've got like 3 or 4 games that I still had finished before we stopped doing it, just because the old laptop couldn't do it without fucking up. So, I'm going to have those games, plus Elihu said he made a game, so we'll have him even host, and I'll play it. Did you make Elihu? Did you make it on my account? Did I give you access to my account?
No, I made my own. It's under my account.
Okay. If you want, I will give you access to my account, because I have the paid version, which means you can add video clips or more images and stuff like that.
Oh, I got images on mine, no video clips.
Okay. I don't know what day of the week I'm going to do it. I noticed when I was checking up on the channel that John DeMarco is still doing his version. It looks like he's doing it on Saturdays. So my idea would be to do it either Friday nights, like every other Friday night, the weeks I don't go to Mexico, or do it on Tuesday nights when I have my kids. That way I can, because I'm not going to be working, I can take the afternoon off with my kids, set up for Jeopardy on Tuesday afternoons, like say between 7 and 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But that might be a little late for some people. So, you know, we got 9 people watching. Say in the chat what day of the week you'd want to see it on.
Heinsberg Day.
John does 9 p.m. Eastern Saturday nights.
Which is 6 Pacific time. Yeah, 6 to 9 seems like a really good time for everybody.
Gorilla says Sundays at 3 p.m. Unfortunately, Sundays, because they're my day off, I do certain things on those days. So Sundays, it would just be a little difficult to try to do it on Sunday afternoons. Plus, I know Chris tries to do a stream. A few other people try to do streams, and if Bert ever returns to doing his streams, I don't want to interfere with those.
I think Chris has been busy working lately because he didn't even make a ranking show.
Friday.
Whoa, what happened? Everything just froze.
Did I freeze?
Yeah, I'm on StreamYard, not YouTube, and everything froze.
Didn't freeze for me. Let me check YouTube real quick.
Yeah, I just looked at the screen. I'm like, wait a minute, why is it transparent? Oh, it froze. The stars are not moving. What the hell? Unless it's my connection. I got a good solid connection here.
It's still working on YouTube.
That is weird. The screen is frozen.
But here, let me try this. Did that fix it for you?
No, let me reset. Let me refresh and see if that helps. Hang on, I'll be right back.
All right. I agree Fridays would be fun. But again, the only issue would be my kids. Because I don't always drop them off before 6 o'clock. So it'd be kind of interesting. Maybe try to do it while I have them every time. They could be color commentary in the on the Vilemike thing. 1 p.m. Saturdays, because it's during the week, I can't join because he's on streams throughout the week. Well, I don't. Again, Saturdays is another one of those days. Sometimes I work Saturdays. And Yvette says 4 p.m. Central. Well, the problem with 4 p.m. Central is I'm usually still working at that time. Depending on how many hours I have during the week, I would I could do it at 6 though. Why suggest several evenings if only Tuesdays work for you? Well, because I'm trying to think about it. Trying to figure out, because I can switch things around because of the way my work is. But things in my work are also going to be changing soon, and I don't want to jinx anything, but I might be up for a promotion. And if I get that promotion, my schedule is going to really change. So we'll see what happens. Are you all fixed now?
Yeah, it was actually me. My Chrome just stopped working for some reason. Huh, that was weird.
Thursdays at 6 then. I can hit germs about third round. 6 p.m. Central is midnight for you.
Yeah, remember, England is 5 hours ahead of New York.
Well, let's see. what if I were to do? We can't do Sunday mornings. I probably could, but I want to also still maintain the schedule for the CNA stream. And this is going to be a different. I want to start doing Jet Nerdy on its own channel. So, but here's the other thing I could do. Until things change, I can take like a long lunch hour and say, take it on a certain day at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that would be 4 p.m. or that'd be 4 p.m. Central or 5 p.m. Central. Would that work for any of you guys during the week?
Look at that. Gorilla's complaining about time zones. Yeah, America's complaining about time zones. Imagine if you're in Antarctica, okay? There is no time zone. Your time zone is a country. So if your next door neighbor is from Italy and you're an American, it could be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It could be 4 a.m. next door. So don't be complaining about time zones, dude. Be glad you're not in Antarctica.
Yeah, you could also be in China. They only have one time zone for the entire freaking country.
I know, but Antarctica is the worst. They've been trying to regulate a time zone down there for years.
Well, Gorilla works until 5 Central. Dandelion works until 5 Pacific. And of course, since NRJ was saying that he lost his job, he can work. He can watch at any time.
Yeah, pick a time, guys. Any time between Tuesday and Monday.
How you doing, Bird?
Hello, world. It's Birdo5. Kapla.
Kapla.
See if I can do it this way. No, not that way. No, that's the same thing.
Doesn't matter. I don't need to have an avatar up.
All right.
Damn it! I need to clean my screen.
4 p.m. Central is 10, or 4 p.m. Central is 10 p.m. I can try, but my brain is optimal in the morning.
Holy shit! Somebody on your stream admits to having a brain. Why are they here?
Well, Yvette's always been the one that has the brain when she's here. So,
Oh, yeah, I know that.
when Yvette joins the live stream, the average IQ increases by 100 points.
See, thanks for the compliment.
You know what, Jordan? That might be a good idea to start out with, but I'd rather do it during the week if possible, or on a different day.
That is a good idea.
So, but to bring it back so people get into the flow, that might be a good idea, Jordan.
CNA, then break the Japanese.
I don't know about this other channel business. Never works out.
What happened to Bird X?
Still there.
Okay, it still works out, dude. That's an alternate channel.
Brain? What brain? What is brain?
I think he misspelled Brian.
Yeah, but I was making a quote from Star Trek.
Yeah, I know.
From, of course, the best episode of Star Trek.
Spock's brain.
So we could definitely do that. Give me a couple of weeks to, optimize the boards and everything. Because I've got some ideas I want to try. So we'll see how that works out. Last IQ test was about 2 years ago. It was 164. And yes, I know that beats some famous people. Not trying to show off, I promise. Yvette, I'd brag all the time that my IQ was tested at 142. Because my joke is, 140 is genius. So I'm 2 points into genius. But I also know that IQ tests are basically stupid and don't actually reflect anything.
No, they don't.
So
But people with low IQs.
It's basically a logic test. I'm like, okay, how logical are you? I'm not the same way of thinking as you, but it's more practical. So don't judge me or test me on this. I'm sorry, you didn't do it my way, so you're getting a low score. I hate IQ tests.
Gorilla, I'll brag about my high IQ of 36.
It's not 42.
Well, at least it's greater than his shoe size, unless he's Shaquille O'Neal. One of my favorite things to do to my kids is when I pick them up and this is, you'll never guess what I did at school today. I'm like, you took off your shoes and socks and counted to 20. Okay, peanut gallery, that's where you're supposed to do fake laughter.
Oh. So they're redoing the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland now? Huh.
What's this top o' the morning? It's howdy, folks.
He's Canadian. He's Canadian. Give him some excuse. Give him some slack. He's trying to be Irish.
Yvette, I'm trying real hard to get Hadley to come say hi to you in the underground, but you won't. Hey, or Hadley, is that oh, that's much better. That's much better.
What, you don't like Canadians acting Irish? Oh yeah, I need more coffee. Or a bigger cup.
Bert, did you happen to watch? Are you caught up with Doctor Who, or is that not one of the things you're even interested in?
Doctor Who?
Yes, Doctor Who.
Never, ever cared about Doctor Who. Sorry. You
All
brought
right,
up
and
the
we
For
got
All
NB.
Mankind.
Hi, Bob.
How you doing, man?
Good. Good. I had to take, well, other than this fucking skin condition still going on, but I saw my doctor the other day. So he's got me on medication. He's got me on a medication take. Hopefully it'll start clearing some of this stuff up. So I've been told 3 different things what I got. So I'm kind of like, well, can we figure it out at some point? I like the beard, by the way, man. Looking good on you.
Hi, Bob.
You know what's funniest about it, NB? This is completely unintentional. The reason was my beard trimmer that I normally had, I took down to Mexico and I kind of broke it, but it was still usable. But even then, I decided to buy another new one for the use at my place. But it sucked so bad. I mean, it was pinching. It was, we had LDG, then we lost LDG. There we go.
Florida man.
Hey, Pickles.
So,
hey guys,
like, it wasn't trimming the hairs as much as it was pulling them out. So I was like, fuck this one. I need to get my old one. And I got the old one, even though the case was cracked, or I tried to go back down to Mexico to get it, but it disappeared. We have no idea where it went.
Huh.
So basically, because I haven't had a beard and mustache trimmer, I haven't trimmed it, so it's growing like a weed.
You know, there's this great invention called scissors.
When I was in the military, one of the biggest problems I had was I had to eventually buy electric razors. I mean, I had to buy the expensive ones because I would always have a 5 o'clock shadow. But the problem is every time I would shave, because I had to shave every day, I would get razor burn down here on the side of my neck. Like no matter how light I shaved, it would just, by Wednesday, it looked like my face was tore up. So eventually I got an electric razor. Well, I bought a cheap one and it sucked. And then I bought one of those like high-end Braun ones. And I did that for a long time until, I don't know, up until about some years ago, I turned out my neck finally started to resist that. So I was able to go back to using a razor. And considering I only shave my sides in here once a week, once every 2 weeks, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I was only shaving once every week, once every 2 weeks too. But you don't do it for a month and a half, and you get a fucking beard.
Yep, I know.
I don't shave in a week. It looks like I gotta haven't shaved in a month. My hair grows weird. I can go a week without shaving. Looks like I have 5 o'clock shadow. I can go another week without shaving. Looks like I haven't shaved in a month. It's weird.
So, wife and I were doing.
You gotta shave every 3 or 4 days.
So, wife and I got our quotes for our 2024 projects. We're getting vinyl planking put in the living room, a deck put outside, and a privacy fence to give a big FU to my fucking neighbor who's a cunt.
What's that gonna cost you? 8,000-9,000?
Total, almost 16,500.
Oh,
Ouch.
Well, the floor isn't bad. The floor is only 2,800. The deck, I'm surprised. The deck is 6,250, and then the fence is going to be like 7,350. So, yeah, I mean, we're doing but we already got it spread out. So the guy we had who did my room here, who did all that cool stuff I showed you with the bathroom and everything, we're hiring them back out. So we're going to have them do the flooring in February. April, they can do the deck. And then July, they can do the fence. Because what we're doing is we're using my disability. The plan was we started this in December. We're taking my disability, and my disability is getting taken out of our regular flow of cash and going straight to these projects. So I'll have all that done by August. I figure August is the latest. And then September, that's when I'm going to pay off I got a loan. I got an equipment loan I need to pay off. And then I got 1, 2, 3 store cards I need to pay off.
Ouch.
So that's going to be that's almost 5,700. So that's not fun. And then I can work on getting my discretionary back up to where I want it to be. So that's all going to take, that's pretty much all the way to November. And then we went ahead and we budgeted in for 2025. Our biggest thing is getting the kitchen done, remodeled completely. And we went ahead and priced out some really nice appliances. So that right there is going to cost about $8,000-9,000 just for all the new appliances. But actually, I got to be honest, that's not too bad in the long run. So,
Well, my next big thing is I want to pay off the van.
Yeah, I would love to. Well, maybe in a few years, I'll be able to start making extra payments on my Jeep and hopefully the economy can get better in the next year or so. And I can refinance my van my Jeep for a cheaper interest rate, because that's the only thing that sucks. I'm only paying, I literally would trade in and cash down. I only pay $25,000 for the Jeep, but my interest rate is those interest rates are fucking insane.
Well, what's your interest rate on it?
Like 6 something.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Bullshit.
It depends on what your
It's a
credit
pretty
score is.
healthy interest rate for an automobile.
No, it's not. Not even close.
The problem is that the low interest rates were band-aids for bad economy. Okay, when the economy is doing good, the interest rate is supposed to be a few percentage points. It's not supposed to be, near 0%.
No, I never said that, but like when I bought my house, I only pay my interest rate on the house is 2.6, and my last vehicles, our interest rate was in the 3% range, not the 6% range.
Right, but I'm saying the 3% range was because the economy wasn't doing well.
Yeah.
Those were band-aid interest rates.
Hey,
Normal
encourage
interest
people to buy
rates are
houses.
what we have now.
yeah, well, they suck. Hey, what can I say? The interest
Even
rates.
right now, at the standard rate of what, like 8%, it's still we still have a lot of empty houses here in the States.
Don't get me wrong. I understand. It's certainly better to have low interest rates if you got a car loan, if you have a mortgage. Absolutely. I don't want to be paying 6%. I'd want to be paying 3%. Now, luckily, that is what I have because I saw the low interest rate and I locked it in at the time. But
Well, when we locked in this place in 21, the economy hadn't taken a total shit yet.
right.
So, but anyway, in the long term, I mean, we make our money work. Next year, we'll get our disability rate will go up, but then our disability rate's going to go down a little bit in July. We're going to lose about $220 because my son will be 18 then, because he turns 17 this year.
Well, I'm really hoping I get this promotion at my work because not only would it like double the amount of money I'm currently making. I'm hoping that means because I'll have a higher income, my bank will give me a better loan or better loan terms for getting a house.
Well, yeah, I can understand that.
Because I don't want to, like, my kids are like, well, why don't you just rent an apartment? I'm like, I don't want to rent an apartment. I want to get either a house or a condo or something that actually it will appreciate in value, that I'm not spending, money on someone else's stuff.
Yeah, one of the things we're teaching our kids in the homeschooling is so we're teaching math, obviously, but like when we went into fractions and percentages and stuff like that, I was able to explain that stuff real easy because I do that all the time. But there were certain things I found in there that I told my wife, just ignore that crap. I said, nobody's going to ask you to do these reductions at 18, 20, it's 18 over 20. No, it's already going to be reduced. It's like knowing how to reduce is one thing, but when you get these stupid fractions that are just like outside of anything a normal human being is going to do, I'm like, no, we're not doing that shit. Hey, Dandelion.
Well, I would hope you actually teach him that kind of stuff because I had an argument with my cousin out in Texas this week.
Yeah.
Because he's also trying to buy his own house, and he wants to buy it at our, in our hometown. For those that don't know, it's Kuntz, Texas. And despite to understand, my cousin is 5 years younger than me. Okay, and I'm 38.
So he's 30.
Yeah, he's about 33 right now. I mean, he might be 34. I can't remember when his birthday was. I'll be honest with you. We're not that close.
Yeah.
But I mentioned, I want to try to buy a house, and he was making fun of me for trying to want to buy a house here in California. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to say his name, so I'll say his name is Bob. I'm like, Bob, how much are you making right now? He's like, well, I make minimum wage.
You can't buy a house.
So you make minimum wage. Let's go online and let's find the cheapest house currently for sale in Kuntz. The cheapest house currently for sale in Kuntz was $80,000.
I figured that much.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And that in California is a fucking steal. And this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And just looking at the place is falling apart.
Yeah, so you'll have to spend a lot. So what he's going to have to do is like what we did with this house. Hey, King Cam. What we had to do with this house. Yeah, we bought it for, a good price. But we knew when we saw the house, we were going to end up spending a lot of money. So in 21, 22, we spent a lot of money. We had to get the septic tank completely redone. We had to get the electric up to code. and a few other things. So, I mean, the septic tank alone was $9,000, so that was costly. Yeah, but we got all the major stuff repaired in 21, 22. So 23, that's when we had my son's room, my room, the office, my bathroom, all taken care of in the family bathroom.
Well, we went over everything because I'm like, okay, what's your current credit score? And he goes, well, I've made some mistakes. It's approximately 540 right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, okay, so let's be optimistic. And you get your loan for the house, this $80,000 place, and enough on the loan to cover the taxes and everything. I know Texas taxes are lower than California, but you're still going to be paying an extra $5,000 on top of that minimum. You have nothing in savings to put down on this, so you're not going to be putting anything down. But let's be nice and say that your interest rate, which will probably be closer to 10%, we'll say it's 5%.
You're lowballing it.
I was doing that on purpose for him.
That's lowball like crazy.
So exactly. I was trying to prove him a point because he said that he could easily buy a house on minimum wage in Texas. Well, I kept rounding up for him, because minimum wage in Texas is just a little bit or almost $25,000 a year, not quite. So I told him, we'll pretend you do some overtime every once in a while, and you average out to $25,000 a year. We did your basic loan payment, which would be about $7,000 a month.
Yeah, $7,000 a month on minimum wage. You can't even do that.
Yeah, and I was like, so we went through everything. Not 7,000. I'm sorry. It was God.
Sorry, anything over 2,500 on minimum wage, you still can't do it, man.
No, it was I think it was actually $1,700 a month because when we subtracted and we did bare minimums. Okay, I'm like, we'll assume that you're living alone. So you don't have much electricity. Your average yearly electricity bill will be $50. Water, $50. Internet, $50.
That's some low-end internet.
Exactly. Trash pickup, $15 a month. We lowballed every single thing. Do you know how much he would have left over every payday?
$37.
Couple $100 at best.
$25 a month.
I was close, man.
So we're talking about $750 a payday is how much he'd have left over after buying groceries. And we even did. I'm like, you're going to be starving this entire time because we're going to assume you're only paying $10 a day in groceries.
How the hell do you eat up to $10 a day? What's the top ramen?
I know. That's what I was trying to point out to him.
Yeah, he'd be on top ramen pretty much the whole time.
Exactly.
That's
and I'm like,
insane.
remember, this is a 30-year loan. You're 33 years old, or I think I said you were 30 at the time, but he got my point. By the time you pay off this house, you will be now 60 years old, finally paid off a house that's only worth $80,000, and you will have paid into the loan a grand total of $300,000.
Sounds about right.
And he goes, okay, so what you're telling me is I need to find a job that pays more than minimum wage. I'm like, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do that on minimum wage in Texas.
This is the problem with people They're like, I can't make a living, buy a home, and raise a family on minimum wage. No shit, you can't. Minimum wage is not a living wage, you fucking idiots.
But
it's called base pay, minimum, the lowest you can get paid.
Minimum wage in Texas would be, you'd be able to do it because Texas is so much better than California. And I'm like, no. Even in California, minimum wage is shit. You're not going to be able to get a house here either.
Minimum wage is basically the lowest they can legally pay you, which means that an employee can pay you $14 an hour minimum, or they can choose to pay you $14.25. It's the employee's choice, but they go by minimum as a quote unquote base pay. It's not your base pay; it's the lowest you can legally pay.
Well, Elihu, the whole point, one of the points I was trying to make with him is, even according to the United States government, under $40,000 is poverty.
I thought it was 35.
Well, I rounded up because it's like 30, 35, 40 something. So I rounded up.
So give you an idea here, the differences between Indiana and Illinois, because I live right on the border of it.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana's minimum wage is $7.25. Now you go over to Illinois. Yeah, I know it's low as shit. I mean, most jobs don't pay minimum wage. You go to Walmart, you look at what it says on like the fast food places around here. They're paying 13 plus an hour. They're paying almost twice as much as minimum wage. I could get a job at Walmart, but really, if I could, and I get in enough shape for it and it's still available, there's a job at the Hershey store, the Hershey manufacturer here in Robinson. And the pay's good, but here's the thing. The hours are fantastic because it's 12-hour shifts, but it's like a Panama schedule. You work 3 on, you get 3 off. You work 4 on, you get 4 off. And it's like, be flexible with the holidays. I'm like, back when I was in the military, when I worked what we call the Panama schedule, which was normally a 3-2-2-3.
Go ahead and keep talking. I gotta go Jaloja real quick.
Okay. So when we had what we called a Panama schedule, was a 3 on, 2 off, 2 on, 3 off, and we were able to, it was like, what about holidays? It's like, screw holidays, man. I worked like 15, 16 days out of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Never...
my hair's not. Damn, my hair.
A little bit better on me, but it's like the schedule would be perfect for me. I mean, 1800 to 0600 night shift janitorial work. Yeah, sign my fucking ass up for the money they're willing to pay for that.
I can't work.
No, for that kind of pay, I would go work that 12. I would go do that shift. I would happily scrub the floors, sweep, do everything they want for the kind of money they're offering and the hours they're offering. Because I'd be like, it'd be a night shift job, be just fucking sweet.
I don't know what I'm going to do in a few months if Social Security gets cut because I cannot work.
Why is your Social Security getting cut?
Well, Congress is thinking about eliminating Social Security, which means nobody has to pay FICA anymore and nobody's going to get benefits anymore.
Somehow I don't see that ever. What are we up on the 5-year thing again, where they have to reauthorize Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid? Because that has to come up that comes up every 5 fucking years.
I have no idea.
Although I did learn this when how you get paid more is based on the inflation rate. That's why when we were at 9% inflation rate, I got a 9% increase, and my wife and I got a 9% increase. So my disability is kind of goes up the same way. Elihu, you're on SSDI, right?
SSDI supplement with SSI.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so basically I'm getting SSI.
Yeah, my dad's actually, well, maybe he applied. So speaking of credit scores, by the way, I pulled up mine from Credit Karma.
Yep.
I haven't looked at it in a while. Yeah, I got a pretty good credit score. 735 on TransUnion and 736 on Equifax. I got a hell of a good
I've been working real hard to get my credit score back up. And it was like back in November, I finally got back up over a 700. So I was like real happy. And considering I started in the low 600s.
Well, you got to understand, back in 05, I filed for bankruptcy. And then back in, what was it? 09, we had a foreclosure on our home in California because, well, At that time, man, if you remember correctly, the housing bubble burst at that time, and you couldn't sell a house to save your life.
Yeah, now the average house price here is $1 million. Seriously, it's about $1 million for a house in San Francisco.
What is
Oh,
the
dude,
what is the, what is the
I've been
minimum
looking
wage
for anything.
what is the minimum wage in California now?
It
$17.50.
just went up to $16.
I thought it was $17.50 now.
No, it's $16, and in a few months, only for certain jobs, it'll go up to 20.
That's right. Fast food like McDonald's, Burger King, they automatically making 20, and healthcare workers are making 20. Like
Yeah,
CNAs,
healthcare workers will get 20,
like CNAs.
but not every job. And here's the kicker, though. Walmart has already started doing this because they've realized it's cheaper to do it this way. They're hiring people as general contractors the same way I hired myself as a general contractor for my own business.
Mm-hmm.
That way they can literally pay people less.
Yeah, and since fast food workers' pay has increased, the price of the menu has increased now. It's now about $14, $15 for an average hamburger, fries, and a small Coke.
Well, you know how
Not
we
here.
all,
That is here.
well when
I got hold on, Elihu, last Tuesday, and when I took the 3 younger Vile kids, we went to McDonald's, and sorry. Before I finish that story, everyone say hi to Mrs. Vile.
Hola, Mrs. Cardenas.
It cost me $30 to get 1 double quarter pounder meal, 1 Big Mac meal, 1 6-piece chicken nugget meal, 1 large drink, and 2 McDoubles for myself. It cost like 31 something.
It costs $12 for a Big Mac meal, and that's a small, not ordering for medium or large.
well, when I go up to like when
I'm
we
just
go,
telling you, I think San Francisco is a little bit more expensive than the rest of the state.
I can
Yeah,
imagine.
we don't have the 2 for $5 at Burger King. We have 2 for $9.
Well, like when I went up to Subway and
Ew, disgusting.
dude, there's no Quiznos around here. Okay, I got to take what I can get.
Okay.
Okay, give me a break, man. Don't you think I'd rather go to a Quiznos or what's that other one?
Mike's.
Jersey Mike, Submarina.
Jersey
Oh
Mike's.
God, I
Mike's.
miss
Firehouse.
Jersey Mike.
Mike's.
I miss Firehouse. Hey, the closest Firehouse is in TH. So's the nearest Five Guys, which is where I love to spend. If I want a good hamburger, I'll go to Five Guys and spend the extra money. Yeah,
Dennis, it's problem solved by not eating at McDonald's. Well, I got kids. They like McDonald's. What can I say?
hey man, treat it like it's the fucking 80s when we were kids. Going out to eat was a treat.
Well, that's the thing is they only really get to eat out when they're with me. So, and I only get them 2 days a week, so I tend to take them out to eat.
Boil them a little bit.
So,
Plus, you probably can't cook.
well, I can't cook when I'm just picking them up from school and taking them to their mom's house.
Well, yeah, that definitely cuts time into that.
I tried taking them to the park so we could grill, but they were like, "Oh, we don't want to go to the park."
But what I went to, so, dude,
Tap your letter upside down.
get
Oh.
a fucking Zippo, buddy.
Dude,
No,
at
it's
least
raining here. It's raining here. I left my window cracked, and my lighter got drenched.
do this to your letter. See? Turn it upside down. Tap it a couple times. There. You got a bit.
I had to wait for the water to dry.
Oh, never mind.
That's what I'm trying to
Either
say.
Either get a Zippo or a Bic, man. At least a Bic. Bics are
It
always
is a Bic.
okay.
Is it made in France or USA? Because that makes a difference. The ones in France last longer than USA's.
Probably a U.S. one. I don't know. It's just a black Bic.
Look at the metal tip. It'll tell you if it's made in USA or France.
It just says Bic. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, fuck you, Elihu. It says made in France.
Elihu knows
All right,
his
fuck
lighters.
you. Elihu was fucking right about something. God damn it. Now the stream is ruined.
Told you something's gonna happen.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
That's funny as fuck.
Oh, I discovered this new show on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
It's called Zorro.
Zorro.
Yes, there's a new version of Zorro out. Oh my gosh. The fight scenes, the choreography, the whip, the axe. Holy shit. It's like this is an 80s, 90s martial arts movie. I'm like, this is superb choreography. Like, holy shit. I was very impressed with the very first episode.
Who's playing Zorro?
It's all Mexican actors.
Good.
It's all Mexican actors. It's all in
So-
Spanish,
so
but
you
I have
say
to change.
So this is like a Mexican martial art movie? What are they using? Taekwondo Chicano?
No, they're using swords, axes, and whips. This is all Mexican. I have to change the English dub to English so I can understand it. But I'm like, holy shit. It's a great plot. It's great action. Wow.
Okay, that was a joke, Elihu. Taekwondo Chicano instead of Taekwondo. Come on.
I know.
God, you ruined my joke by taking it seriously. And I said that joke knowing Mrs. Vile watching it. She's probably going to get mad at me for making that joke.
Which means she's going to give you half a cup of coffee next time instead of a full cup.
Oh, good. The guy playing Zorro is a Spanish actor.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I mean,
I'll add it to
as
the
long
list
as
of things
it's-
I need to watch.
No, that sounds interesting. I always like a good Zorro movie.
It's a TV show.
I know it's a TV show.
I got so many. What's on my list? Let me go back to the list of stuff
Yeah,
to watch.
if you watch it, MB, you
Yeah.
got to switch the audio to English dub because it's all in Spanish.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
we
I don't have a problem with that.
Maybe it'd be a good time for me to start learning my Spanish again.
Yeah, the closed caption is even in Spanish, so you got to change the English dub. I'm like, oh, okay. Normally, multi-language, I'll put on the caption in English. It's all Spanish. I'm like, damn it. They really went hardcore on this.
One of the shows I liked that came out of Mexico that was on, I think it was on Hulu, was Who Killed Sarah. It lasted 3 seasons, and it was actually a really good show. I was actually pretty surprised at how the 3 seasons ended. The 3rd season wasn't as great as the first 2, but it tied up all the loose ends. Now, I'll tell you a show that freaking my wife and I drove us nuts was that German show Dark. The first 2 seasons were one thing, and then you get to the 3rd season, and you are really having to follow these timelines that are going on, and it's just like crazy as fuck.
Crazy timelines like La Brea.
I did not watch La Brea. I never got into that.
Did La Brea get canceled? Because I haven't heard anything about it.
No, they so far it's only season 3, episode 2, and I'm like, okay, they finally went to Garrett. Come on. It's supposed to drop Monday.
I'm watching.
Episode 3.
What am I watching right now? I'm in between. I'm in between Reacher season 2 and continuing watching Stargate Atlantis. I'm on season 3 right now. That, there are some of those filler episodes that I'm just like, okay, these suck.
You know, David Hewlett is on YouTube. He does stream every once in a while.
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
Rodney McKay.
Yeah, my Rodney McKay. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, he does a stream every once in a while on YouTube. Last year he was growing mushrooms with his kid. Now he just bullshits every once in a while. He'll interact with the chat. That's cool about David.
I'm looking forward to one show I'm looking forward to besides For All Mankind season 5 is definitely season 2 of Silo. I really like that first season. It did not go the direction I thought it would. And you know what? When my expectations are subverted, but I started to wonder some things in it. I was like, I wonder. And then I was like, oh, hey, Dandelion.
Good morning.
It's morning.
Is it too cold for hikes today?
No, it's pretty warm actually. Just really slushy because we had like a foot and a bit of snow on Tuesday night and Wednesday. And then it got warm after that. So it's just like big old slushy mess. I'll probably go out for a walk anyway.
We
Be safe. Don't slip on the ice.
There won't
Kevin
be ice. It's not icy. It's just slushy.
You got your little crampers on your bottom for your feet, right?
Yeah, I do have those if I need them.
Okay.
Good.
No, I thought it was like because of the icy weather across the states. Every time Mrs. Vile sends me a link to something, it auto plays to the next video,
Mm-hmm.
and like 90% of them are people slipping on ice because they're not familiar with it.
Oh, yeah, no, I know how to penguin walk.
Yeah, across the across the sidewalk. Yeah, I learned that one in Alaska.
Yeah.
I learned how to do it a long freaking time ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, one of the funniest things I saw was a friend of mine who used to live in California who moved to Florida. Was like, I've lived here for 8 months. We've had we've had hurricanes. We've had blistering hot, humid weather and 100% humidity. I just got a pay cut, and now I'm dealing with fucking ice.
Yeah.
Sounds like
They're
Florida
like, why
to
did
me.
I leave California?
Sounds like Florida to me.
Oh,
And you go to Florida, you got to be able to. There's a reason why they call it Florida, man. There's a reason why they have hurricane parties.
I attended one hurricane party before. That was Hurricane Cindy.
I've done
2004.
so many hurricane parties, I can't even tell you. My mom, the only time my mom was in Florida that any of the hurricanes really were scary was Hugo and Matthew.
Nah, Katrina.
Katrina didn't hit Florida.
Yeah, that wasn't a Florida hurricane.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, that was Mississippi, buddy. I'm not talking about.
Oh.
I was at Keesler for school, and I remember all the casinos and stuff down there. I went back there after Katrina for 7-level school, and Jesus Christ, the place was still devastated.
Yeah,
it was fucking bad. We had one of our airmen, Otero. She was down there for her school, and then she got back just before the hurricane hit, like only a couple days prior.
Yeah, if you owned a boat, and if you live in New Orleans and you owned a boat, you don't own a boat anymore. Everyone was grabbing everything they can to survive. They see a boat, that's theirs. The National Guard didn't care. Nobody cares. Like, yeah, take the boats. Nobody really cared about that. I had to get a boat to go from Garden to downtown. Well, there goes my house. There goes my shit. I'm going all the way back.
It probably wasn't any of those big Bezos yachts or anything, though, was it?
No, it was basically
No mega yachts, just like rowboats.
rowboats and motorboats, yeah.
Little boats.
Well, to give you an idea of what it is here, Lion, we're at -13. We're at almost -14 Celsius right now, but this is supposed to be the last day of the freeze.
We're about 16 degrees right now. Celsius. It's 55 Fahrenheit for all you Yanks.
Well, technically it's -8, but with the wind chill, it's -14.
Let me see what our weather is. It is 2 degrees Celsius or 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So, it's just raining.
Oh,
Yeah, right
shit.
now it's raining here.
Oh, fuck me. We're going to get rain on Monday and Tuesday. God dang it. It's
Wow.
I don't want rain if it's going to be what? It's going to be like 1.5 degrees for most of that time. So we're like on the border of it freezing over the night. Well, I actually, the other day with the snow and everything, we had about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Some of the areas were icy. I actually had to put my Jeep in 4-wheel drive for the first time.
I wish it would snow here.
No, you don't. You would have terrible snow there.
No, it'd be fun to watch all the cars trying to stop going down the hill.
That's what I'm saying. It would be a disaster if you had snow there.
I decided to look up the weather right now over the next couple of days. Yeah, it's raining right now, but it's still 58 degrees.
Eli, you want snow? You want snow? Go to Donner. Just go up and hang out in Donner's Pass.
If I want snow, I'll go to Yosemite again, but I don't want to feel like going up there.
Or go to Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, the Yosemite National Park.
Yeah. Well, go to the Sierra Nevada mountains, man. Or go up or take a trip up Donner's Pass while you're going to Reno. I did that before.
No, dude, I actually looked at some trips for Reno. 4 days, 3 nights in Reno, $600. 6 nights, 7 days in San Jose, Puerto Rico, $600.
Actually, that's not a bad price for Reno.
Oh, you should go to Reno.
Yeah, but I like to go to Reno.
Just don't kill a man while you're there. Just make sure you don't kill a man there to watch him die.
But it's Puerto Rico, and it's a couple days longer. Same price.
And 2, if I want to see snow, I'll look it up online. I don't want to be cold.
I like
to watch it over on the mountains that are over there. Like there's mountains all around, and I can watch snow on those all year long.
Yeah, if I want to watch snow, I'll watch Hunger Games or Game of Thrones. Okay.
Good one.
Hello, Positive Candor.
Hey, PC.
Hey, say.
All right. Is it sad that I actually got his joke about, if I want to see snow, I'll watch those shows?
Yeah. Yeah, my problem is I didn't really care for Game of Thrones. And I'm going to be honest. I watched House of the Dragon. It was better, but I don't think I'll be around for season 2.
I have yet to see House of Dragon.
I saw House of Dragon. I thought it was okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's, certainly better than the average show. But I didn't finish Lord of the Rings, or the series I'm talking about. Mostly because
the Prime one.
I didn't care.
You mean Game of Thrones? Or
no,
are you talking
the Rings? The House of Power, Rings of Power, or something like that.
Oh,
yeah, there was a Prime on Prime. They did a Tolkien series.
Yeah, I watched one episode, and I was like,
it's not that it's really bad. It's just so meh. I wasn't interested. It needed to either be a lot worse or a lot better.
It was boring. That first episode was boring as hell.
I mean, if I wanted to watch boring, Tolkien's show, I'd watch The Hobbit again.
Agreed. But also, let's think about that. Well, the first part about The Hobbit, I'm going to be honest with you. They made 3 movies out of a 260-something page book, for fuck's sake. Talk about overkill.
Yeah, there was no need to make it a 3-parter.
I'd rather watch the cartoon than the full action live movie, and I'll be right back. I need more coffee.
Oh, I love the cartoon. Love the cartoon. Love the cartoon. I think we grew up on the cartoon, if I'm not mistaken, most of us.
I did. That was my introduction into Lord of the Rings. That's why I literally did a book report on Lord of the Rings for my 4th grade class. And my teacher actually said that I must have faked my my book report because she didn't believe I would do one book report on all 3 Lord of the Rings books in the 4th grade.
Oh, Lord.
Some teachers kind of suck, you know that?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Our problem is we have this thing called the Department of Education that was created in 1979. And I was one of the OG products of that shit. And everybody has suffered, and I've seen it do worse and worse. Hence why one of my kids didn't graduate. She had to get a GED, and my other 2 kids are being homeschooled. It's one of the reasons I don't go back to work right now, because that's my priority. Let's put it this way. When my son, 5 years ago, when we started homeschooling, he's about to be 17 this year. He's 16 now. When he was 11 years old, he could not read at a first grade level. Now, he can read on grade level. He understands a lot more. He's got his confidence, which was the biggest thing, because the fucking school destroyed his confidence like all hell, and it fucking killed me.
Dude, didn't they change the standard up to 79 when the Presidents of Fitness thing came in the 90s? They regulated education in states, so that's when everything got fucked up, because education was not continuously taught universally across the country. Now it was sporadically. This little education in Texas, this little education in Virginia. They had their own little version of the history. Yeah, it kind of messed up in the 90s.
Oh, no. One of the biggest things.
The 90s made it worse.
Yeah, the
especially
90s
with
made
No
it,
Child Left
oh
Behind.
God, the 90s made it a lot worse. The 90s made everything a lot worse, because here's the thing. Yes, you could, you can teach certain things the way you want, but remember, the DOE would be like, well, you're not getting funding if you don't do what we want. It's kind of like what they did with the Department of, was it the Interior or Transportation? There was this thing when they wanted to get the drinking age up to 21, and they told states, if you don't get on board with this, we're going to cut your funding for your roads and stuff, your federal roads and stuff. We're not going to go fix it. So they basically strong-armed them into that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, in my experience, when they introduced the whole No Child Left Behind thing, it basically meant that even if you're stupid, we're not going to hold you back, which meant that people weren't learning what they needed to learn to progress as, people.
Yeah,
I knew people who were, in a white or mostly white community. I had people in the 12th grade who could barely fucking read.
Hey, I'll 100% say that was fucking Bush's fault.
Well, I thought that was actually Clinton, but okay, I'll take your word for it.
No, I'm pretty sure the No Child Left Behind was Bush.
Someone look it up. I'm too stoned this morning.
Yeah, I'm going to. No Child Left Behind.
Yeah.
Well, it was 2000. Okay, it was 2001.
So what's Clinton?
It was Clinton. Well, Bush. Not really. Well, second Bush, I think. Really, okay, Clinton. When was Clinton president? Sorry, man, it's been a while.
I think it was bigger than any one person.
Oh, this was one of his. Wait a minute. No Child Left Behind was in 2001. He was president until 2001, January 20th. So, yeah, this was something he enacted, but obviously Bush went with it. When did this get enacted into law? '107th Congress.
Can you hear me?
Barely, PC.
Really?
Barely. I barely heard you talk.
Hey, positive.
No, this wasn't Clinton. This was under Bush. This was Bush. This wasn't
I went
Clinton.
to Wikipedia. Well, I thought I could blame something on Clinton. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I blame a lot of shit on Bush. I blame a lot of shit on. I blame a lot of shit on.
On Bush? That's why you got to trim down there, okay? You got to wipe from back to front, not front to back. Sheesh.
Okay, that was just
TMI,
disgusting.
Elihu.
You went
TMI.
from funny to disgusting in less than a second. Good job. And I'm officially out of coffee, so I'm going to open a Dr. Pepper.
Oh.
What you were talking about, what you guys were talking about was.
All right, I'm gonna head out, guys. I gotta do a bunch of stuff today. I have a flight to catch. Like, I gotta get up at like 4 a.m. to get to the airport. Actually, I gotta be up. I gotta be at the airport for 4 o'clock. So
Where you going?
All right.
I have to go to Ontario. My mom's not doing too well, so
Oh.
I have to go out and help out for a bit so we can get her a place in a care home. So I'm gonna have the shittiest 2 weeks for the next 2 weeks.
Sorry.
Apparently she's not sleeping, but she keeps falling over. So if she wakes up in the night, somebody has to be there to wake up as well. So it's not going to be good because I got bad insomnia anyway. I'm hoping I can use some of my insomnia techniques to make her sleep, because she can't do sleeping pills, because that's the problem. Is she took too many sleeping pills over the many years. So now we're trying to get her off the sleeping pills so she stops falling over. And anyway, it's a whole thing. I don't really want to get into it on a public forum, but anyway.
No worries.
Yeah.
I'll say a prayer for you.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I believe she's grew up as a church-going person. I, however, am pagan, but I appreciate the support of all the gods. So thank you very much.
We'll have a safe trip.
I'll pray for anybody of any religion. I see no reason why not to.
Well,
Nope, absolutely.
As a pastor for the United Church of Bacon, I'll also eat a piece of bacon for you. Or for your mom.
Excellent. If anyone has an in with the flying spaghetti monster, I'll take those prayers as well.
I do have a copy of the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, but I'm not a practitioner.
Right. You're not a pastafarian?
No.
Nice. I just like the hats.
Oh, yeah. Wearing a spaghetti strainer? Absolutely.
Well, that or sometimes people create like a hat that looks like spaghetti with like the meatball eyeballs. May you be touched by his noodly appendage.
I like tinfoil hats better.
I could definitely see that. So, well, you take care of Dandelion. You have a good.
I can easily see Elihu wearing a tinfoil hat.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and I will probably still try and stop in next Sunday, but I'll be in Eastern time, so I have no idea where I'll be at this
Well, just
time
send
of
us
the
a
day.
message. Let us know you made it okay. I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll post something somewhere. I'll put a photo on Instagram or, oh yeah, you don't do Instagram, most of you.
I do.
I'll make sure Elihu
But
knows I'm
Elihu
okay.
could feel it.
I'll let Elihu know that I'm okay, and then he can let all of you know that I'm okay.
Yeah, he can DM us all.
Yeah, but I'll probably be like backstage and stuff periodically. So.
Well, once you post your picture, I'll just copy and retweet it for everybody.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Later.
So to answer that one question, I think Elihu said something about the states thing. Yeah, that was the No Child Left Behind was in 2001. That was under Bush, not Clinton. Another fucking thing Bush did that I didn't like. But in 2015, it was pretty much most of the No Child Left Behind was stripped away for the Every Student Succeeds Act, the one where it put things back in the states. Although it doesn't seem like
that was fairly recent, within the last 15 years, I think.
Yeah, it was 9 years ago, 2015. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, 2015 is when that happened. And yeah. Like I said, look, if I was president, there are some departments that would be gone.
The ESSA was good for the states that actually adopted, strict rules, but the ones that did very loose rules, it's just made things even worse. And that's part of the problem.
The ESEA, that was Lyndon B. Johnson, 1965. Sorry, I got it right up here. So I'm just, you're right about the ESA. That was in 65. Then there was the No Child Left Behind in 01. And then there was the Every Student Succeeds Act. The problem with that shit is okay, you're just creating legislation, but we're not doing anything that is helping these kids. We're not giving any, better funding.
One of the other problems, Envy, at one point, do you know how many people the federal government had to regulate the states?
What, in education?
Yeah, how many people were working for the Department of Education to to actually go in and check the schools?
3.
Do you know how many people they had working at one point?
3.
40. 40 people to cover all 50 states and every school within those states.
What about our territories?
I would assume that would include them too, but I don't know exactly because I didn't check that.
No, just curiosity.
Puerto Rico regulates their own.
They had said that states like North Dakota, South Dakota, Alaska, a lot of the states that don't have a lot of people, had not seen someone check on their schools in 10 years.
I could believe it.
So that was one of the reasons the Department of Education sucked so bad is because they weren't able to enforce anything.
Well, not only that, all they did is like, well, do what we want, or we're going to withhold funding. I mean, that was kind of how it's been playing out, which...
Yeah, but the problem with that is they didn't have enough people to make sure that they were doing that. So it was an empty threat.
I know. But you know how those states want that sweet, sweet government that sweet, sweet federal money.
Oh yeah, the money they mostly get from California and Texas.
And Florida and New York.
Yeah, but at least half of it's coming from just Florida or from Texas and California.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. It's, hey, this is where I agree with this. This is not a fair situation. You're sending all this money to the federal government, and what does the federal government do? It says, okay, this state gets this much money, this state gets this much money. It doesn't matter how much you put into it. They're deciding where your money went. Yeah, I agree. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit system.
Don't get me wrong. I'm proud of the fact that California helps support other states in the union. But
you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, we really shouldn't have to. Every state should be able to be self-sustaining on their own. I mean, that would be the best scenario for the country, I think.
Exactly. If we were treating it like a republic, if we were treating it like a republic that we are, and we recognize each state as kind of its own quasi individual nation, you put so much money in, you should be able to you shouldn't have to put that money into the federal government.
It's ridiculous to think
to the other states.
Every state should be self-sufficient.
Yes.
I mean, when you have a state the size of California or Texas, sure, it's easy. But you have states the size of Rhode Island, Maryland. Well, those are ridiculous. Nobody would ever expect Connecticut to be self-sufficient.
Why not?
But that's been a state since the founding of this country.
Yeah, but why can't they be self-sufficient?
Why can't a state the size of Rhode Island be self-sufficient?
If you mentioned Connecticut, I want to make you an example. San Diego County has approximately the same population and geographical size as Connecticut. One of them is self-sufficient. One of them is not.
San Diego has a massive military port that the Connecticut does not. Okay,
True.
It doesn't need one. There's plenty of other ports up and down the northeast coast, but San Diego has got a ton of money going there because the military spends it.
That's because
I'm gonna check.
I'm gonna go Gelogia.
All right, military installations, Connecticut.
There's an army base there, right? Brad?
Oh,
Brad?
shit. Okay, no, Bird is right. They only have one major base, and that's the Naval Submarine Base in New London.
Oh.
And hell, San Diego has 2 of those. So yeah,
Connecticut also has a ton of woodland forest. It's not nearly as built up, honestly.
well, we got the Cleveland National Forest here.
Jersey is 70% forest.
I mean, a good chunk of San Diego's desert.
We've got Native American reservations.
Same
I'm
here.
sure there's got to be some out there. San Diego.
We got a whole bunch of them. That's where one of the Vile kids' moms works. They work on one of the reservations.
Just having visited both places, I'd say San Diego is a lot more built up than Connecticut.
Yeah, all Connecticut does is just
Connecticut has the coast that's urban, but once you're inland a bit, it's much more rural.
Oh, same here. I mean, along the coast, we're heavily built
Yeah,
up. But
no, but I mean,
go out east in San Diego County, you'll come across like the town of Yacumba. You know how many? You know what the population of Yacumba is?
123.
I'm sure it's not much.
About 200. And it still has an airport. That's one of the things I thought was funniest of all hell. They've got a fucking airport for a town that only has 200 people.
Why?
Well, when I looked into it, because I went down a rabbit hole one day. It was actually an old training field used by the United States Navy during World War II. And that's what the town basically popped up around, because that and the fact that they've got some hot springs. And now it's primarily just for the hot springs, but so they've got like enough people to run the hotels in the area. And the airport is for people with money to come in to stay at the hotels and visit the hot springs.
You know, I'd love to visit a hot spring. I've never gotten to do one of those yet.
I did. I went to the Chenya Hot Springs in Alaska, and oh my gosh, the cold air compared to the hot water was the most tranquil feeling I ever felt in my life.
Man, I would love to. I'd love to experience that.
They have packages for like a 5-night visit at the hot springs here for like $500.
Damn,
It's not
that's
bad.
cheap.
Yeah.
Does that include hotel?
That includes a hotel, access to the hot springs. Now, there's only 2 hot springs that are actually able to be used. But still, I'd say fuck it. I'd go.
That's a good deal. That's a fucking
And
nice one.
And get this, because of COVID, the owners decided to use that time to revamp the entire hotel.
Smart move.
Nice. Genius.
So, yeah.
Very good. Well, one of the things I was saying though is, yeah, I mean, there is no reason. I'm sorry, but places like Rhode Island, Connecticut, and stuff, they're so small in the population thing, like North Dakota and stuff. You know, you can look up any state's national debt right now. All you have to do is just type it in. It's interesting. You can see all that. But a state shouldn't have to rely on the federal government to give them money that they sent to the federal government. It should be the money should, as far as I'm concerned, the money should stay in the state.
The state gives back
Well,
something to the
enough of the money needs to go to the federal government to provide things like, you know, Social Security, military, that
No,
kind of
Social
stuff.
Security is gets paid out by the individual, not by the states.
I understand the federal tax part. I'm talking about all the other taxes that go to the federal government. It's kind of like, and then they want to disperse it among the 50 states and territories. And it's kind of like, why does DC get to decide this shit when this money could be better used in, well, if you got a decent governor.
And
what
the-
pisses me off
sorry.
is when they do those little fucking earmarks. I'll let you go in a second, Lehu. But like when they're voting on, let's take an education bill. But inside the education bill is funding for a bridge or funding to subsidize pig farming in a particular state. Like, why is this in that bill?
That's why I've been a proponent of. And that's one of the things I like. What some people are trying to do is we're trying to get clean bills on just the one subject matter. If you're going to have an education bill, it needs to be on education. Doesn't need to be a bridge. Doesn't need to be a fucking road in there. Those are totally separate fucking things that should be voted on separately. But I'm sorry to say, our Congress does those omnibus bills, which actually, here's something I found out when I was doing my Civil War history. I read the Confederate States of America's Constitution. There are two things in there that I think would be so good if we had them in our Constitution. One, line item veto for the president. So the president could veto certain things out of a bill, not just veto the whole bill. The second thing was it specifically said no omnibus bills.
That's a counteractive mute point, dude. The president can veto one item out of a whole other things, and there should be no exist in the first place. No, the president, if does not like a certain line item, should be able to vote the whole entire thing up because some things cannot get passed. I'm going to take, for example, the COVID relief fund. That did not get passed first time. Why did it get passed the second time? Because they sneak other shit into it that people would vote for. Like the what was it?
I have issues with that.
The post office thing, the UFO hearings. If those things were voted separately, they wouldn't vote on it.
Well, I have issues with that. Make Congress do their fucking job. They just want. I mean, hell, they want to give themselves another pay raise.
Yeah, I know.
Oh God, yeah.
So make them do their fucking jobs. Make sure that they're in session more than 6 months out of the fucking year. Stop letting them campaign so fucking much, and do their fucking job.
They want trying to pass. They're trying to pass a bill right now to hide the fact that any Congress, you cannot look up any Congress member and see what stocks they own. They're trying to pass that law.
They need to not be allowed to buy stock.
Exactly.
No, I don't care if they own stocks, but I want it made public.
No, I think it's not right that people who make legislation on things like stock and stuff like that should be allowed to buy it. That's they basically get away with insider trading.
Yeah.
Should they be allowed to buy milk?
No, stock options, not products. They should never be allowed to buy stock options. I don't
have an issue with them owning the stocks per se. My issue, but if they were to say vote on something that was involving their stocks, then they're in trouble.
But that's their job. Your job is you're going to have to vote on things that deal with stocks. That's part of their job.
They shouldn't be allowed to buy them.
You shouldn't be allowed to buy stocks at all. Should they be allowed to get money market accounts?
I'm not talking about money market accounts. I'm talking about actual stocks for individual companies.
Okay, but do you know what a money market account is?
Yeah, a money market account does the same thing.
I have a money market account.
Okay, so should you not be allowed to have one if you were in government?
Why not? All I'm doing is just investing in my bank. I'm not buying individual stock from an individual company while I'm voting on something about it.
It's basically going into the same
system. When you have Congress doing those antitrust laws and those things like that, they're the ones who have to make the final say on the monopoly stuff. And if a company can go, they shouldn't be allowed to buy stock in those companies because they're making decisions on that.
But part of it is like even a savings account is tied to the stock market or even or the housing market or the auto loan industry.
But I don't know, it's not like I go in there and look at, well, where's my savings account getting done with this? Where's my money market account getting done with this? We're talking about individual stocks from individual companies.
Well, see, my 401k is tied into a money market account, and I get to vote on where areas my
individual
401k money gets.
It's individual stock options, Mike. It's not the 401k.
I'm not talking about
individual businesses. We're talking about Apple. We're talking about Exxon.
Okay, but
Hewlett Packard.
there are funds that are made up of stocks, individual stocks, right? That
Yes.
you can invest in.
Okay.
If I'm not investing in Apple directly, if I can invest in a fund that invests in Apple and
I'm not disagreeing.
Intel and 2 or 3 other big brands.
If you own any stock whatsoever, you should not be a member of Congress. A member of Congress should not
Okay,
own
but
any
it's
stock.
not stock.
That's
Technically,
what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about stock, not a mutual fund,
Yeah.
not a.
So only
money
stock,
market.
only
Yeah.
individual stock, not a mutual fund or something.
No, mutual funds are personal investments.
So it's
Stock is a public
perfectly
trade.
okay if they invest in 2 or 3 stocks, as
No.
long as it's just not one stock directly.
No stocks, period.
No, this is the quote. This is the debate. You're saying no stocks, period.
No, I'm saying not buying individual
Okay,
stock.
Elihu just said no
No
stock,
stocks,
period.
period. Because no stocks, period, because they can help regulate that trade. No.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so again, as if it's not a stock, it's a mutual fund or whatever it's called. That's where that mutual fund is invested in 2 or 3 stocks. Is that okay? Yes or no?
The mutual funds is not going to invest in stocks that goes regularly within the bank system itself. That's how you make your own money back. The stock market is a simple individual thing.
Hold on. But Elihu, a mutual fund can be, say you're in a bank that only does 2 things: CDs and mutual fund, or sorry, CDs and mutual funds and housing loans. So they're using the mutual funds and the CDs to pay for housing loans. So if the Congress gets to vote on the housing market stuff, that means they're still benefiting, just as if they were owning a stock.
Yes, but they shouldn't be allowed to invest in that individual stock on that housing fund.
Okay, so
there's a difference between a TSB,
an
IRA, a Roth IRA, mutual funds, CDs. Those are personal investments. You're going through your bank directly to do those. And unless you are really paying that much attention, you don't know what they're investing in those things in.
What Bert and I are trying to get across is it's basically still owning a stock, just a few more extra steps.
But you have no input.
funds
Hang on. You have no input.
Is a way to pool your money with other investors to mutually buy stocks, bonds, and other investments. That's what a mutual fund is. That's what I was pretty sure it was.
Bert, if you're doing a CD and the bank is investing the CDs into stocks, you are not personally affected or making any decision or interaction with that stock itself. The bank
listen
is.
to me, Elihu. A mutual fund. There are mutual fund directors out there who make a ton of money. Okay? If I want to go out and invest in a mutual fund, right now you tell me I can't buy stocks. Fine, I can't buy stocks. Can I buy mutual funds? Yes or no?
Are you getting a direct decision on what they invested in?
I'm paying somebody.
Then
And they are choosing to put my money into certain stocks and other bonds or whatever. It's their choice. I'm paying them. They're putting it into what they think are the best stocks and other instruments for me to make money on. And at the end of the year, I usually get either a return or I've lost money, like with a stock.
You just described what Pelosi's doing.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty
he's
much.
so wrong about
Exactly.
it.
So there's the question. So now I'm asking.
Pelosi buys, but Pelosi
But-
will buy
and it's not-
individual stocks and has the ability to affect those. These people have the effect. They have the
I know.
ability to.
They are going to have the ability to affect it because they're the fucking leaders of the country.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they should be able to profit from it.
How fuck can you separate their ability
Yeah,
to
that's the
profit
problem.
from it and make law?
Simple. You're not allowed to buy it. You can have a mutual
That would,
fund. You
that
can
would
have a
mean that they're
TSP,
not
you
allowed
can
to
have a
invest
market,
any.
You can have a
into any-
CD. You can have those things. Those are perfectly
they-
fine because you're not individually going in. But if you're doing a bill on, like, say, Exxon,
But if my mutual fund, I know if my mutual fund invests in Exxon and energy
Yeah,
and
my-
whatnot.
My
Then what do I
my
do?
accounts send me a thing every month or every week actually, telling me what things that they're going to invest in the next 30 days or so.
Okay, well, I've never had a mutual fund. I've only had CDs and.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, rich people
Sorry,
have
Kevin,
mutual
we
funds.
lost you.
Well, I understand rich people have their thing, but what I'm saying is Congress should not, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, those people should not be worth millions of dollars.
Not, my question is, reality is right now,
Yeah.
mutual funds exist.
I didn't
Yep,
say there
and
was a problem with
CDs.
that. You guys, Eli and I seem to understand what we're talking about here. You guys aren't getting. We're not talking.
No, we get it. But what we're saying is, sorry for
Get it, but-
interrupting.
Yeah, I get it. So the company,
Going to stock with a few extra steps.
yes, the company you're using for the mutual fund or the bank or the credit union for the mutual fund, the CDs, the T-bills, and all that stuff. Yeah, you'll get a statement. Okay, but you don't get necessarily a say-so in what they're going to invest that quarter versus what they're going to invest in the next quarter. Whereas you have a bill up about Exxon, for say, and all of a sudden you're looking at a bill that's going to favor Exxon stock, and you start buying stock in it before you pass the bill. That's insider trading, in my opinion.
Or if it's a mutual fund where you're able to vote on what areas that your mutual fund is going to invest in, you still can vote on saying, hey, I'm going to vote that we go into Exxon because I know I'm going to be voting on a bill that's going to favor Exxon.
Or to go to depend on what MB was saying, yeah, you're about to vote on this, but you have no direct because you have an investor, and you tell your investor,
And-
yeah, we're going to vote on this, and you invest all of a sudden invest in that. Well, you're out of the loop
right.
because you didn't do it personally.
And can I just point out one thing that's really fucking funny to me right now? NB and Elihu are on the same side, while me and Bird are on the same side.
What the hell is wrong with this world today, man?
Hey, we're allowed to have disagreements. That's half the fun of it.
And can I also say I think I like the fact that we're actually having a political discussion while not insulting everybody.
There's no reason to insult. There's no reason to insult everybody. There's no point to it.
Fine, I'll insult you. That's weak ass beer, dude. Drink something stronger.
Okay, I'll get it. I'll get some
lightweight,
stronger beer. It's 8%, man.
Fucking lightweight, 8%. Drink 12. Come on, lightweight.
Dude, there's no. Dude, do you know how much that 12% beer costs?
How much out there?
Oh God, a 4-pack at least $18. Easy.
Damn.
$12 to $18 for at least 11-12%. Depends on what you get.
Ouch.
And I got to be honest.
$8.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Hey, I worked at a liquor store. Trust me, I know this stuff. I had to find the.
NB, did I tell you how much I spent on that bottle of brandy I used last week on when I was in Mexico?
I think you did. You said something in pesos.
Well, it was like $8 for a 750 milliliter bottle of brandy.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is in pesos.
In dollars, you mean?
No, I told you I spent about $8 American total.
Yeah, I remember that.
So you spend
I
what?
remember when I was in Thessaloniki, Greece, and I had to learn the conversion of what the Greek money was. I forgot what it's called, and American money, and I was like, "Holy shit! Shit is cheap here."
Don't they use euros?
I don't think they used euros back then. No, they didn't use euros back then. I don't think the euro was created back then.
Oh, back
I think that was a few years before the euro was created. I'm going to look that up. Greek.
We have Google.
And
Greek
Bing.
currency before euro. The drachma. That's what it was called. It was called
the drachma. The coins. Yeah, duh. I was just watching Percy Jackson. Duh.
All right. It was they prepared it for 10 years, but it was officially launched on January 1st, 1999.
No, they were still using drachma. Greece used it until January 1, 2002. I was in Greece back in 2001. So, yeah, they were still using drachma, not the euro back then.
Hey, be glad you don't have funny money like Canadians. So loony. So loony.
I think their money's colorful. I think Canadian money's colorful.
I like Australian money.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed with some of the Mexican currency they got down here because they introduced like transparent sections and plastic sections to make sure that it's really hard to reproduce. I'm actually I'm shocked about how good it is. Maybe I'll show some off next time I'm in Mexico.
Show some.
I should have remembered it was drachma because I remember the show back in the day on Nickelodeon, Count Duckula, and he paid everything in drachmas.
Yeah, Percy Jackson. Hello. Here's your drachmas. How many drachmas?
There's your drachmas there too.
Oh, you mean a show that's based on Greek mythology uses the drachma? I'm shocked, Elihu.
I know. Surprised they're not using the peso.
How's the show going so far, Elihu? I haven't got. Like I said, I'm gonna finish up Reacher season 2, and then I'm gonna finish up Atlantis, and then I'm gonna check out the Percy Jackson. I love the books, man, but the movies were just garbage.
Yeah, the books is following. The TV show is following the books, and the guy playing Ares is perfect.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Well, I'll be honest. I never read the books. I saw the movies with some of the Vile kids, and I know they didn't like the movies. I thought the movies were fine, but from what I understand, that's just because I didn't read the books.
In the books, Ares is a 50-50, 51-50 kind of guy. He'll be nice. All of a sudden, right in your face. I'm like, okay. They introduce Ares' character. I'm like, holy shit, this is the book come to life.
Yeah, there was that. There is definitely that. But you know what I always thought would be funny is I thought about the TV show one time, and I was like, what if the Greek gods were still alive now? You know where I think the god of war would have been? In the courtroom. I always thought of Ares being a lawyer. That'd be like the ultimate battleground.
Congress.
Oh, Congress? Yeah, that too. That'd be like, there's like, fuck the field, man. This is where the real fight is. It's like I grew up, man. You know what? I had to get into politics and, found out this is where the real fights are. So, yeah, I'm the god of war. I might as well have some fun with it.
Aphrodite would be a huge fashion designer.
Artemis would be a fitness instructor.
Yeah. Festus would work for the military designing weapons.
Nike's doing yoga videos on TikTok.
Hermes is the post general master.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Hermes would be the working for. Nah, he'd fuck that. He'd go work. He'd be the president of FedEx. Something like that. UPS or something.
Well, don't say he'd be president of UPS. They fucked up a delivery yesterday. We were. I was helping my roommates out because they had some mattress delivered.
Yeah. And
they were like, it'll be delivered between, 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Then they said on the website, at 4:38, it was delivered. And we're looking at the fucking outside the house. I'm like, it's not here. What the fuck? And they took a picture to say, as proof that it was delivered. And it looked like they took a picture of our neighbor's car that was incredibly blurry. And we're like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, like an hour later, they appeared on our doorstep.
I had an interesting, funny you mentioned that, Mike. I had an interesting thing where I have to go through my insurance. I saw my doctor. I had to get some new prescriptions and stuff and get some refilled. And I have to go through what's called Express Scripts to get my 3 months my 3 month supplies at a reasonable rate, especially my insulin, because insulin is expensive as fuck.
Mm-hmm. This supposed to have an instant cap, but Congress said no.
Yeah, and then so I went in there this morning and I pulled it up, and it was like, yeah, everything was delivered. I'm like, what? Check the FedEx tracking. I checked the FedEx trafficking, and you mentioned the picture thing. And he took a picture of it, and it was this big white box sitting in my barn that was still open. And they were like, yeah, we dropped that off at 106. I'm like, really? When my wife was gone and I was at the gas station. So my wife literally drove into the barn, drove out of the barn, drove back into the barn, did not see the box that was there. And it was there yesterday. And then I checked it this morning. I saw the clip and I was like, this is in the freaking barn. And I go over there. There's a big old box with all my stuff in it. I cracked out. I was like, well, at least you took a decent picture to tell me where it was. I was like, shit, I'm glad I looked that up. Otherwise,
when I checked my statistics for the eBay store, about half of all my UPS deliveries were fucked up last year for the year of 2013 or 23. Sorry. About a quarter of my FedEx deliveries were fucked up by FedEx, and about 1% of my USPS deliveries were fucked up.
We had this one time when I worked at what was called A2, which was an intelligence department. And we had this FedEx package that they kept saying, oh, it's been delivered. No, it hasn't. Even though we're looking at it, it's like, no. So we literally got a freaking thing that said, hey, it's going to be delivered at this time. I was ordered to sit out in my truck and wait for the FedEx guy. And I've got the freaking tracking on my phone and everything. And all of a sudden I called back to the office. I was like, guys, they said they just delivered it. I was like, the FedEx truck hasn't even been here. I said, there's been one FedEx truck and it went all the way down the other side of the street. So I was like, I don't know where the fuck it is.
I'll be right back. I need to teach you Loja.
But it was like 3-4 attempts. We tried to get them. They were like, no, we delivered it. It's like, no, you haven't. It's like, I'm standing out here in my truck waiting on your fucking ass. And I was like, do you have the phone number to the guy who's actually driving it? I was like, where's his delivery guy? I'm like, oh, he said he dropped out. I'm like, I was standing outside when it was supposed to be here. Okay, I was watching this shit in real time when it said it was delivered. I was like, he ain't delivered shit.
Yeah, and then don't even get me started on Amazon drivers. Fuck. I was driving into Poway, I think not last week, but maybe the week before. And I don't know if you know, but in Poway, they built this new Amazon distribution center. And I'm driving in. I'm nearly hit by an Amazon truck driving 75 miles an hour on a 60 mile an hour freeway or highway thing without his lights on. It was 7:00 at night.
Trying to save power.
What a fucking
and I was like, what the fuck? I'm literally just driving.
New green initially.
And right past me. And I was like, what the fuck? And I tried to tell when we finally get to a stoplight, I'm, honking at him, trying to get his attention. And he's not paying any attention to anyone else on the road because I'm trying to tell him your fucking lights aren't on. But God, I was shocked that he would be driving that fast in that dark of an area because there's like no street lights in that on that little highway area.
Well, that's one of the reasons I don't go out when it's this time of the night because 7:00 comes around. It's pitch fucking dark around here. And unless you're traveling 41, you travel 63, it's pitch fucking dark. If I go down 154 at that time of the night to go get beer, it's fucking pitch dark, man. There are no street lights or nothing. The only reason why I can even do it is because I've driven it for the last almost 3 years now. So I know all the curves and everything, but even there are sometimes I'm like, I'll take it slow because I'm like, I want to make sure I make the turns. Because if I'm not careful and I don't pay attention to certain turns, I'll end up in somebody's cornfield. Yeah,
there's some areas I just don't understand how some people would drive the way they do. Like I tend to drive very conservatively on a certain highway here in San Diego because I've literally had 2 accidents caused by other people in the on that road. And the speed limit's 55. So I'll drive 55. I've consistently been passed by people going around these tight curves going 80, 90 miles an hour. And I'm like, how the fuck are you driving that fast when, one slip up and you're going over a cliff?
One of the things that cracks me up is when I'm driving down 154, which is, 55 miles an hour. I normally drive 60, 65. And I will get passed by people going 80, 90 miles an hour. And I'm like, where are you going in such a hurry? You are going into a freaking town that is 35 miles an hour with a school zone before you can even speed back up again before you get on Illinois 1. I'm like, where you got to go in such a big fucking hurry? I had one guy.
The quicker they get there, the quicker they can leave.
Well, I had one time where not too long ago, I was on 154 and this asshole, first off, I'm so fucking ready to kill people or hurt people who can't remember what a blinker is.
Oh, yeah.
But literally, I was driving up 154 and all of a sudden I'm behind this truck that's going, it's like almost at a dead stop. I didn't realize it because his brake lights weren't freaking working. So I'm coming up fast and I'm like slamming on the brake. I'm getting on the brakes of my Jeep, but I'm like, I was about ready to have to go around. And all of a sudden the guy turns into the cemetery and I freaking honk my horn and throw my finger out. And I'm like, you motherfucker. I could have plowed right into your fucking vehicle because you were being a dumbass.
NB, I got pissed at this lady who, when I was taking the kids to the mall, speed limit 65. She's driving fucking 45, weaving all across her lane, sometimes edging, getting somewhat into the lane to the right, somewhat into the lane to the left, making it damn near impossible for me to go around her. By the time I finally do, she's freaking looking at her phone right like this. I'm like, get the fuck off your phone, lady. What the fuck is so important that you got to be driving? You're going to risk killing a bunch of people on the highway. Oh, God, I was so angry. And, of course, I told the kids, if I ever catch them driving with a fucking phone in their hand like that, they're losing their phones, their license, everything.
Oh.
Hide the keys.
Just take the key. Fuck that, just take the keys. Hey, you can have your phone, but you can't fucking drive because you're too stupid. I can't stand that when I see people on their fucking phone. I'm like, get off your goddamn phone. It's like my daughter. It drives me nuts. My oldest daughter. She'll call me while she's driving, and she still can't. And with my grandson in the back of the vehicle, having the video on, she keeps looking at him. I'm like, look at the fucking road.
When the anti-texting law came into effect in California, I'm like, good, finally. But there's a little exempt law from that. Cops allowed to text and use the phone while they're driving, doing unofficial business. I'm like, why the fuck are they allowed to text their friends and I can't?
Because they've got special training.
First off, why do you need to send a text that fucking bad while you're driving?
Well, I would say if there's an emergency reason why, they should be able to do it. If it's personal, fuck that, they shouldn't be able to do it.
Well, obviously there's that exception, but if there's an emergency, you're probably not going 65, 70 miles an hour while trying to text somebody. I mean, at least any sane person wouldn't do that.
An average person cannot go down a residential road at 25 miles an hour texting on the phone, but a cop can.
Well, I don't think if it's not police business, they shouldn't be able to do it.
They still can do it legally. They can legally text their friends while they're driving.
Why are you so concerned about what cops can and can't legally do?
Because they shouldn't be given an exemption.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
If it has nothing to do with the job, they shouldn't be given an exemption.
Shit, MB and I agreeing again. Crap.
I know a liberal and a conservative agreeing on things. It must be the apocalypse.
It's the
and it was really funny. I was defending Texas on TikTok.
Why?
Well, because a guy said something stupid on TikTok, so I had to make a response.
Oh,
and everybody started like piling on, like it was telling me that I'm wrong, even though I did it. I posted multiple things trying to explain my position because of the character limitation.
Yeah.
And people would only respond to the first issue I made, which was simply that, like, the guy was trying to say that Texas would fall if they tried to secede to from the Union. And I'm like, not really. 8th largest economy, 40% of oil production of the state, of the country. They'd mostly survive on their own if they needed to.
Well, Mike, what's your TikTok handle?
Vilemike SDGS.
SDGS. If I can find you.
The only thing posted on there right now.
There you are. There you are. I'm gonna follow you. Actually,
the only stuff posted on there is some old jet nerdy stuff yeah.
No, I'm gonna follow you on both my TikTok accounts. I have two. I have my nice one, and I have my NB one, and then I have my angry vet one. That's the one I do a lot of my tirades on.
But
my NB one, I try to keep more positive.
I had a lot of people calling me a conservative, and I'm like, excuse me, I am not a conservative. I'm just pointing out the fallacy of your statement. I'm not a conservative. And then I had like MAGA accounts defending me, and I felt dirty when they started doing that because they were defending me on points that I didn't make.
Well, yeah, I got I got you. You got 2 friend requests. They're probably both from me. They're almost certainly both from me because I friended you on both my Angry Vet account and my NB Geek account.
Yeah, I just got them.
Okay, cool beans.
But yeah, I'll be sure to argue with you on there too, just like I argue with everyone everywhere.
Hey, at least we can
remember.
Hey, we can be civil.
I as I said, I piss off people on both sides, apparently.
Well, better be pissed off than pissed on, unless you're into that sort of thing.
Well, I just don't like even people who are on the liberal side making bad arguments.
I don't like it on either side. I'll call out. Look, I've said this. I'll call out a liberal. I'll call out a leftist. And I say leftist because I don't think you or Elihu are leftists. I think you guys are liberal. Well, he's liberal. You're more centrist. I'm the conservative.
I'm more of a centrist, but I'm left of center.
You're more of a centrist. Elihu's more of a liberal. I'm the conservative. Bird's New York.
Well, he's New York, not New York City.
No.
He's New York.
New York. He has a whole bunch of garden gnomes. He's the Garden Gnome Valley.
But yeah, I mean, I understand the same thing when I talk to me, and I'm like, I'll respond to someone, and I'll be like, well, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. And a lot of times I do things that do with political on my one side, and I go to this little damn thing that people don't like to reference, but I do.
What is that? I can't see.
What is? I can't tell what that is.
This is the Constitution of the United States of America, the Declaration and the Declaration of Independence. It also has
NB. I go to that thing all the freaking time to piss people off.
I know, so do I.
So NB is trying to be the new Quickie Binder. Gotcha.
No, I just point out look, I score notes of the Constitution, man. That's, people, and I love when people are like, oh, I'll bet you're a Christian. I'm like, yeah, what does that have to do with the Constitution?
The word God is not in the Constitution. The letters G, O, and D are in the separate, but not in the same order, not exact one order. No.
Well, hold on. In the Declaration of Independence, it does say "in the year of our Lord" at the bottom.
I did not say Lord. I said God.
It also says we're endowed by our. It also says we're endowed by our Creator.
Yeah,
it does not say God.
No, it does not.
Yeah. Not only that, Jefferson was more of a deist, so he was talking about a very loose idea of God, not necessarily the Christian one, which is fine by me.
Actually, I think when you look at the idea of saying we're endowed by our Creator, well, you probably would think, if they were being smart about it, going with the Abraham religions, and then saying, hey, whatever creator you believe in, you're endowed by that creator for these basic things. And then it said, yeah, of course, it said in the year of our Lord. Okay, fine. So what?
Sorry, I had to plug in the laptop, otherwise it was going to die.
Non-Christians still use the Gregorian calendar, okay? Come on. Of course, we use BCE instead of BC.
And B, I actually did something really funny, at least funny to me, because you heard about the big anti-abortion protest thing that was going on this week?
Yesterday in San Francisco, I heard.
Oh, yeah, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, yes.
The pro-lifers.
Okay. Well, when I was at one of my stores, sitting in the parking lot trying to get ready for that store, I had a guy walk up to my driver's side window, just kind of like how I am right now, and he was selling anti-abortion bumper stickers. And he goes, these are $5 a piece, but we're requesting a $15 donation when you buy one. So essentially, he was trying to get $20 a piece for these bumper stickers. And I said that, well, I'm actually pro-choice, so I'm not interested. And he starts, kind of yelling at me, like, why are you, well, basically what I did was I was like, okay, dude, why are you anti-abortion? And he goes, well, because I'm a good Christian. I'm like, okay, what's your preferred Bible? So I said, what's your preferred Bible? And he's like, oh, well, the King James, obviously. I'm like, okay. So we started looking up certain sections of the King James.
No. I've got the St. Joseph's edition. This is my Catholic Bible.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That's why I laughed, man.
And I pointed out all the points in the Bible, essentially, where in the King James version of the Bible, both Old and New Testament, where basically some form of abortion takes place. And after a while, he was just like, I really didn't know that stuff was in the Bible.
Because you didn't fucking read it, dumbass. Hey, look, there are plenty of idiots on the there are plenty of idiots on the right. Okay, I'm not gonna lie and sit here. There are plenty of stupid people on the right. Listen, one of the reasons
I'm sorry, anyone who uses a religious text, right or left, to defend their position is going to be flawed, in my opinion.
Look, I will take my personal views and my beliefs from this. However, my oath, the one I swore to, was the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, am I pro-choice? No, I'm pro-life. I understand. However, I do understand and respect states' rights. That's why I was actually happy Roe v. Wade was overturned, because it put it in the state's hands. And we had, what was it? One of the states, was it Ohio, that put abortion in their state constitution to protect it? I think it was Ohio.
It was Ohio. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I said, good. And I did a TikTok and I said, good for them. I said that is what the point of states' rights is. I'm a big proponent of states' rights. So if a state wants to have that, fine. If a state if a state wants to make, now look, I'm this kind of person when it comes to the abortion thing. I understand the first trimester thing. I get it. I understand it. I understand the health of the woman and everything. But I don't agree with what I call vanity abortions, where it's like, I just don't want it because I don't care. I don't like that. I think there should be some responsibility and accountability. That said,
NB?
I do not have the right to decide how each state does it. I can only vote on it or approve of the legislation in the state I'm in.
NB,
should be.
Sorry. What you said, vanity abortion, that is a term that most right-wingers use to when they have the argument against Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood does not do vanity abortions.
Well, no,
Less
we
than
weren't even
10%.
talking about
I know.
We weren't
Oh,
talking
they
about
do.
Planned Parenthood per se.
I was going to say,
And even then, we know that Planned Parenthood, 90 or 99% of what they do has nothing to do with abortions.
exactly, that's what I'm going to say that.
Okay, so we don't need to bring
But they
Planned
do
Parenthood
do
into
it.
the argument.
And so do private hospitals and other clinics.
Listen, all I'm saying is, look,
It should be up to the doctor and the patient, not the state or the government. That's
well,
what it should
I
be.
definitely think it should definitely be out of the federal government's hands and into the state law's hands, because one of the things is, as you've noticed, even in a state like Ohio, which is heavily Republican dominated, they still put it in their constitution because that's what the people decided.
No government should have any say upon health. It's like saying, okay, the government's going to regulate diabetes. You have to have so much blood sugar.
Elihu, on this, you're wrong, because the governments are going to have to get involved on certain issues.
It should be up to the doctor and the patient, not the state or the government. The government should have no say in your health care.
Hold on. Elihu, the state or the federal government is going to have to regulate that regardless.
Why? Because insurance companies?
But
one of the biggest frauds in the world? Insurance companies? Because that why?
No, what I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, is now versus when Roe v. Wade, and by the way, Casey versus Planned Parenthood, that were overturned because of the Dobbs decision. I remember this quite well. The states now made their decisions, and now the people are voting. And even in red states, they're voting, hey, we want a certain reasonable level of abortion. Now, do I necessarily agree with it? No. But my personal opinion is not what should be affecting the majority of that state. That's what I feel strongly about with this. And that's why when Ohio decided, hey, we're going to put this in our state constitution, despite what the Republicans say, I'm like, oh, good on you people. You made a decision, right or wrong, you put it in there. Whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant. I'm just happy these people have the option to do it now and vote on it and decide how they want their state to be run. I don't want to be run like...
Is NB roboting for everyone else, or is it just me?
You.
Okay, just making sure.
No roboting here.
But that's it. I mean, there's no reason to protest this. And I think I was talking about this with my wife, because my wife she's pro-life, but she also understands pro-choice. My oldest daughter's pro-choice. And, I mean, you have to understand, you have to listen to people and listen to why they feel that way. But using things like, okay, when a person goes to why they're against abortion to this, I'm sorry, I agree with you. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. That's a bullshit. That's a straw man argument. That's a straw man fallacy right there. My faith is my faith to God, but my oath was to the Constitution. And I believe in this little motherfucker. Now, I may not like everything, but that's okay because that's the point. But I definitely believe in the 10th Amendment. I believe in states' rights. So California can have its laws the way they want as long as they don't violate the United States Constitution. Same with every other state.
Then
That's
I
what
have
the
a question
Supreme
for
Court
you.
is
Based on some of the things Abbott was trying to do in Texas. He was trying to get medical records from Texas citizens who went to other states to get abortions so they could be prosecuted in Texas.
That's wrong.
How do you feel about that?
No, that's wrong. That violates HIPAA laws. That
Okay.
violates
Right now, it was struck down in, I think it was Washington's courts, but it might end up going to the Supreme Court.
And hopefully the Supreme Court would understand that's a violation of the HIPAA. Because that is. You shouldn't be allowed. They should not. No, your medical records are supposed to be confidential like that. My wife worked medical administration for a long time. HIPAA laws are way stricter than Privacy Act laws.
Dude, I had to go through a whole bunch of hoops and whistles to get my personal medical records when I was a kid, okay? They are very hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Fortunately, because of certain agreements between the state and federal regarding hospital transfers, I was able to get my medical records transferred for my appendix stuff. But that was important because I did not want to be conscious the entirety of my fucking surgery.
Well, it's like, okay, so as you guys know, I've bounced around from one place to another for most of my life. And what did I have to do? Every time I had to sign an authorization letter to get my medical records transferred to the new department and say, yes, I'm allowing you to release this information to, my wife. My wife's the only person who's allowed to have access to my medical information because she's my emergency contact. And then I had to give them permission to, hey, I'm giving you authorization to get my medical records from my previous hospital or doctor, and I'm authorizing it, and I have to sign the damn thing.
Yes. And when I was a file clerk for the law firm I used to work for, part of my job entailed getting our clients to sign HIPAA release forms so we can get copies of their medical records so we could enter them into legal records so we could, actually argue their case in court. And sometimes it was easy. Sometimes it was a slog to try to get the records because the hospital's like, nope. How can we verify that you're actually representing this person? It's like, well, we have them signing a form. Well, how do we know that they signed it? Well, we got it notarized. Well, how do we know that you didn't fake that? It was like, really? So we had to now have the client go down there to sign it in person with our own notary so it would actually go through. And it was like, oh my God.
I know. Medical is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it took me about 5 years to get approved for SSI.
Yeah, but the simple thing is now listen, when it comes to certain things Greg Abbott's doing in Texas, I'm okay with, but he's not my governor. And I have no say in that. But yeah, in my opinion, wanting HIPAA, if somebody goes out of state to get an abortion where it's legal and they come back, to prosecute them for that, no. And try to get HIPAA, that's basically show me the person, I'll show you the crime. And that's not right. And I don't agree with that. Never would I agree with that. HIPAA is designed to protect your medical history and your privacy.
Yeah, the government shouldn't be able to get your medical records just because they want to prosecute for a crime that you may have committed within their border.
A crime you may have committed in that state versus none. That's like, I mean, I'm going to say this right now, my state, it's illegal to, but I can go to Illinois and get it.
That's the equivalent of getting a ticket and jaywalking ticket in Las Vegas, but you live in Columbus, Ohio, and getting prosecuted in Columbus, Ohio for the jaywalking ticket in Vegas. That's the equivalent of it. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like if your state wanted to get your medical records because you to test your blood because you smoked weed in another state.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, well, we think you smoked weed in the state. So what? It's legal in that state. Well, it's not very legal. Who the fuck cares? Half the states in America have already made it legal.
Like,
But
could you imagine a county that's a dry, a blue or one of those of the blue laws where you can't drink on Sunday or buy booze on Sunday, and they try to prosecute you for going across state lines to buy a 6-pack?
Utah, Salt Lake City, Dry County.
If you want to even go further down the line than that.
Well, when I was in Kentucky and when I went down to Cave City for our vacation, I stopped at a gas station. I saw the thing. I said, hey, did they sell liquor over there? The lady looked at me. She goes, you're in a dry county. I'm like, that's still a thing?
Yeah, I know. Because conservative Christians don't want to drink on Sundays. I'm like, oh, come on.
I was shocked when I went to Texas one year, and we went to like a county over, and that particular county, there's no alcohol sales starting at 2 p.m. Sunday morning, and you can't 2 a.m. Sunday morning, and you can't buy anything alcohol related till 2 p.m. 2 a.m. Monday morning. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, dry counties suck.
No,
I was shocked.
This dry county was like, they were like, yeah, you have to go over here you have to go back. I was like, I have to go back 20 minutes to the place I was just at. And I did a TikTok on that because I was like, I'm in a dry county. I'm like, I didn't even know that shit still existed anymore. I was freaked out. So, of course, I drove 20 minutes back because I like my beer. So I got some beer and drove back. I was like, okay. But, yeah, I mean, when we're talking about, like HIPAA laws and stuff, HIPAA laws are there for a reason. And no state or federal government should just be able to access them just because they want to.
No, absolutely not.
That's a violation of your that's a violation of your Fourth Amendment law?
Yes, illegal search and seizure.
Thank you. Yeah, illegal search and seizure, because if Greg Abbott had gotten that, that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. He has no right to know that stuff.
Wow, I didn't even have to look that up.
All right, let's change the subject drastically for a sec because I'm probably going to end the stream soon anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the pastry shop.
But I got a question for you guys because I watched Monarch and I was looking up some of the Godzilla related stuff recently. Have any of you guys watched the Godzilla movies on Netflix?
Yes. Well, I watched
the animated ones.
No. The animated one, the 3-part animated one.
Yeah. Has anyone watched those yet?
Yes, I did about a year.
Yet. Bird, have you?
No, and I don't plan to. So
I did about a year ago.
Yeah, I haven't bothered to watch.
Did you like them? Because I didn't even know they existed, so I'm thinking about going back and watching them after I finish with Doctor Who.
I'm waiting for Godzilla -1 to come in color next month.
I would have to honestly rewatch them again, but they basically pretty much stated Godzilla's unkillable.
Yeah, because of the nuke. Getting stronger.
No, this is the animated ones, Elihu.
Oh.
Yeah.
They take place like 1,000 years into the future.
Oh, okay. I have not seen those then. I thought you meant the old 90 cartoon.
No.
Oh, okay, no.
And are you thinking about the Hanna-Barbera one? Because I think that's like the 70s.
No, they made this 90s cartoon.
If you're talking about the one that was the American Godzilla 90s cartoon, I understand that one, but I don't know what you mean by 90s cartoon other than that one.
And that's what I'm referring to. Hang on.
If I'm not mistaken, this was Godzilla, Planet of the Monsters, Godzilla, City on the Edge of Battle, and Godzilla, Planet Eater. Oh, damn, I'm hiccuping.
Yeah, I haven't seen them, but I wanted to watch them because I didn't even know they existed.
I thought they were decent. I'd have to watch them again. It's been a while.
Yeah, Godzilla, the animated series. 90s.
I remember
So-
Humanoids. That was a fun series back in the day.
The Hanna-Barbera one or the American Zilla cartoon?
Inhumanoids.
Oh, Inhumanoids. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking.
No, Inhumanoids was Hasbro.
Like
in,
70s, 80s. Wasn't
no,
it?
Inhumanoids was 1986.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I thought it was a lot earlier than that based on the animation. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I never saw that. I don't
I
think
saw it at the time.
that movie. Oh, look, that Godzilla movie was terrible. Even Matthew Broderick couldn't save it.
Why the hell would he go for a pregnancy test? That made no sense.
I know.
Because it detects certain hormone levels. It doesn't necessarily. It could be used for many things, not just finding out if they're pregnant. But here's the other thing. That movie was great, in my opinion, until they introduced the whole Godzilla egg stuff.
Yeah.
Before that, I liked it.
Yeah, another show that came out that I liked that same year was Centurions. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, I loved Centurions. Oh.
Air, land, and sea.
Every time I've come across one of those toys, it's never complete. Oh.
I used to have all of them.
I come across the green guy and the blue guy a lot, but they're always missing like 50 to 90% of the stuff.
So what was it? The blue guy was air. The green guy was it the blue guy was air, the green guy was water, and the yellow guy was land, right?
I believe so.
If I remember correctly.
Oh, it's been a while. I can't even remember.
Well, I'm coming up on, well, it's 1986, and I'm coming up on, it's 24, so 96, 06. So we're coming up on 28 years, man. 60, wait a minute.
I'm an old man.
Yeah, I gotta go.
16.
All right, later, Bird.
Have a good one. Take care, guys.
Couple of bird.
Yeah. Take care, Bird.
And you're right. Yellow was land.
Yeah, and that came out 28 years ago. But I used to love that show. I had the, had the toys and everything. It's one of those things I got rid of. That it's one of those shows it's one of those shows I'd really like to get again. Yeah, Max Ray was sea operations. Jack Rockwell was land operations, and Ace McCloud was air operations.
Yeah, one of the things I always thought was funny was I'm rereading it to make sure I'm getting it right. The John Thunder guy, who was, according to this infiltration commander with a black suit, he was like extreme stereotypical Native American. And I always was like, no.
Like Apache Junction.
Oh, yeah. Oh. So bad. So 80s. So bad.
Actually, he'd been doing stuff since he had done stuff since 2015 in the filmography department. Anime, he did.
Actor?
Yeah, he was Duke in the G.I. Joe movie, and Lift, and Taken, and X-Mot. Because you got to remember, a lot of those voice actors had to do different voices back then.
I wonder if Frank Welker did anything for the show because he's freaking Frank Welker.
Oh,
yep, he did.
I can believe. Well, Frank Welker, remember, was, if I'm remembering him right.
Frank Welker is the original Megatron, Soundwave, God, Frank Welker's been in fucking everything. I mean, you look him up on IMDb, I would be shocked if his list of credits was less than 1,000.
Yeah, he goes to a lot of conventions, dude. He was at FanFest here.
Well, remember the guy who played Optimus? What is it, Frank?
Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen.
Optimus Prime. Frank.
Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen. Sorry, why did I say Frank?
Because we were talking about Frank Welker, who did Megatron.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Well, if you remember, he was the guy who did he did Voltron's opening scene, and then he was also in the Voltron vehicles as a voice character.
Yes.
He played in Voltron.
All right, like Frank Welker's IMDb page, just for 2023, he was in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Teen Titans Go, Futurama, Mickey Mouse Funhouse, Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2, Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Pups, Animaniacs, Velma, Prancer: A Christmas Tale, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, Minnie Mouse's Bow Tunes, Curious George, Nickelodeon Extreme Tennis, Looney Tunes cartoons. I mean, he's
done it all.
Frank Welker is a voice acting god, and if you don't like him, you shouldn't be on my channel.
Well, you got Peter Cullen doing everything from Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo additional voices. He did additional voices in the Smurf. He was Dr. Banner, Mysterio, Hulk, Red Skull, and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. He did a lot of additional voices. Of course, one of my most favorite memories of him was when he played Carr in Knight Rider. He voiced Carr in Knight Rider. That was always a fun one.
I remember that.
Yep. I when I first saw that as a kid back in the early 80s, I was like, it's Optimus Prime.
I used to have a kit model.
So here's who he played in Transformers: Optimus Prime, Ironside, Streetwise, Wingspan, Slug Leader, and Nightstick. And then in the Voltron Defenders of the Universe, I didn't even know this. He was the narrator, but he also did Koran and King Arthur. Yep. I didn't know.
Okay, that. NB. If you look at the Vilemike theme song when I play it, one of the slides will say it's a picture of the modern day Quran with me saying hashtag not my Quran or something like that, not real Quran. Yeah. And it's because when we did the Voltron reviews, I hated that character because I loved Peter Cullen's Quran so much.
Oh, I didn't know he was in. So he was in Challenge of the GoBots, and you guys remember that? That was kind of a Transformers knockoff.
The GoBots. Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
So he played Spoiler Tank Pincher, G.I. Joe, a real American hero. He was Airborne, Rammer, and he was Xandar.
Oh, here's something you probably didn't realize. In Guardians of the Galaxy, Mantis said Drax's father was killed by a GoBot.
He actually. Oh shit! He was in Brave Star. I actually bought that not too long ago, a couple years ago. He was in DuckTales. He was in the Real Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Jeez,
God, those guys.
Oh shit! He did additional voices in Tailspin, Tom and Jerry in the 90s.
So when are you going to end the stream?
As soon as I finish this cigar. I got about.
Oh, did you?
400 left.
Oh, did you know he was in? Did you guys know he voiced Optimus Prime in Transformers Prime?
No way.
Yeah.
Cullen voiced Optimus Prime? Wow.
No, I mean in Transformers Prime.
Oh.
He's also Transformers Roman.
One of the things I loved about Transformers Prime was Dwayne the Rock Johnson voices Cliff Jumper, and he was heavily promoted in all the stuff. Then they kill him off in the first episode. They did it on purpose to kill off the Rock's character in the first fucking episode, even though he was out promoting the show like crazy. It was funny as all hell to me, and no one saw it coming.
I loved, when it comes to sequels to Transformers, I think Prime was really like one of the all-time favorites for a lot of people growing up.
Prime was great. Beast Wars was great. I'm not a huge fan of the Unicron trilogy, and I haven't really watched most of the new stuff, but that's only because I don't have time to watch stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, J.O.B.
And because like certain other things, because I've heard nothing but good things, I actually want to go back and watch the last 2 seasons of Power Rangers, because apparently they do a lot of callbacks for older fans like me.
You were a lot younger than I was.
Dude, I remember when Rita Repulsa was a thing, okay? She was the villain of the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't villain of the week. She was the big bad of the series.
Well, okay.
Until Lord Zord.
Yeah.
Zed.
Oh, was it Zed? I don't know.
It was Rita, then it was Zed, then it was Rita and Zed, because they got married.
Mm-hmm. On the moon.
Yeah.
What the hell is a BIPOC? I still haven't looked that up yet.
What?
It's a double POC.
Yeah, I guess so. 2 Pocs.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tupac.
wait a minute, did I just...
It's a rapper.
Tupac?
It's a rapper.
How Machiavelli of you.
Well, he said it was, that, so I'm like, oh, 2 Pocs. So Tupac.
Yeah, it's a Tupac.
So a BIPOC is a Tupac. Okay, I got you.
BIPOC's another name for a rapper. It's the rule.
No,
it's
I
his
thought a
real name.
BIPOC is what you call Pac-Man's twins.
Or a POC is some kind of sexual term. You're fluid. Fluidly POC.
All right. I'm just about done. So how should I end the stream?
Me pulling my headphones away from my ears.
Oh, I would say this one, I would go with the Klingon opera.
All right, Klingon opera it is.
More singing, more voices.
Hail the Klingons, hoorah!
Dreadful noise!
All right, you're 19 years old now. I figure it's about time you got one after all your complaining. Sorry. Why didn't it play the last one? All right, now I can end the stream. Later, folkses.